makes a speech truly effective? Now, in chapter 4, I read up on why listening is so important. So, listening and hearing makes a speech truly effective. But they're two different things. So, hearing is an involuntary process that our brain goes through when the sound waves coming through our ears, and then it translates into the actual words that we understand. Now, listening is different. Listening requires conscious attention, and we need intentional effort to actually listen. So there's different types of listening. Like appreciative listening is for pleasure. Like for example, music, poems, and TV shows and movies that we watch. Or therapeutic listening, like therapists and counselors and things like that. But they're already at a higher level of listening and are more educated on the topic. And then there's appreciative listening, which is like building a relationship. It's like a conversation where there's actually listening on both sides, like a father and a mother, or a mother and a child, and relationships on more like that. Now, political events or debates require more critical listening, just because you have to pay attention to key points. Or when you're trying to gather information, like informational listening, it's more like in a classroom or listening to a lecture, or just listening to the preaching at a church. Sorry. Now, what I found really interesting about this chapter is how big judging is. Now, the speaker, if you really judge the speaker on what things that they say wrong, or if they have like this stain on their shirt, something that's a little distracting, or if they have like those weird little high-pitched voice, and it just builds a barrier in between the audience and the speaker and what you're actually trying to listen to. So you kind of want to ignore all that. Just remember that the speaker is an actual person. And those things that I've listed, some listeners might actually use it to justify on why they stopped listening or why they didn't hear anything, but it's just excuses, because you should be able to block all that out if you're a good listener and listen to what's actually being said. Be open-minded also when you're a listener. Just like if you're listening to a political debate or just anything like that. Remember that listening and accepting are two different things also. You can listen to whatever's being said and have respect for that, or respect the speaker themselves, but you don't actually have to accept different ideas or anything. So just keep that perspective of just being respectful as a listener. And also take notes. It's very important to be engaged and have that physical engagement, just so you remember what's being said and actually listening to the message. Thank you for listening.